as I said, Nathan had provided the PDF for me of the second edition, and he suggested that I look at the developed rules for the promotion. Most of the rules are the same, but he put in some extra stuff about the development of the promotion as a whole. And although some of those rules are pretty elaborate, and I don't think I can keep them all in my head, I do think that I can slowly bring in some of them. For one thing, we have a little page to describe our promotion now, which the way that this game would, the second edition suggests, you start with this. And so you define the promotion and then make wrestlers that kind of fit it. And we kind of did that a little bit anyway.
But it could be a good aid.
Right.
Especially if you're not a wrestling fan.
Right.
Could be.
And I was able to kind of retcon what we'd have into its situation. Reach is local, right? We have our audience really is a local audience.
Yeah.
And the supports or the things that the promotion has as its advantages include social media expertise and strong kayfabe. That characterizes our promotion pretty well. I would have chosen combat sport focus, except you came in. Because what we really have is one of our struggles, which is fractured creative vision.
Okay. But that's
They got a little, they started pulling in some colorful wrestlers, right? And now they're kind of wondering, wait, what's our theme now? How does this work? And it's already, unfortunately, blown up almost out of kayfabe, right? The tension about it is starting to get out of kayfabe, so that's a struggle, right? And then no merch production was the other one. You just don't have that kind of, you kind of really have just the wrestling. And so, but none of these. Some of these were like green as grass roster would have been a cool one. But of course, I came up with some experienced wrestlers, in the group, so that doesn't work. Would have been kind of. We would have thought of it that way. That would have been kind of interesting. Bad sponsorship deal, behind the times. Some of these are pretty funny, actually. Convoluted lore. When the fans have to start doing like this to explain it, you're not getting new audience.
It's kind of near to my heart, though.
Right. But it is a bit of a struggle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
You're like have people going, but wait, that breaks continuity. If we had that happen.
Didn't you have
Wait,
wasn't
there ants? No. That was that other guy. Oh,
someone comes back from the future.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like, God damn it. There are a few other things too. Now they have special features that come up when you rank up the promotion.
Okay.
There are things that we can choose that now can be done. But we haven't got there.
So it's in our best interest to kind of bump the audience score in as well for the narrative purpose of the promotion.
Correct. Or another way to look at it is that without the characters being invested in the promotion at all, without that as a feature, then the game has no point. Right? Otherwise, you're just talking about something falling apart.
Yeah, and unless you really want to play that, but that's sort of you're switching everything around. You sort of you have then sort of deconstructed the entire thing or sort of subverted the entire point of the game, at least as they write it. Because I think that's, even though you're fighting in the game, that's all the game is all about fighting each other, but it's not about fighting each other. It's about, actually doing a show, pretending to fight each other.
On the other hand, though, tensions in any show are a feature. Right. So let's see. So there's that. There is a rule that when someone is top of the card, which means they have audience 4, they have something called the top of the card move, and they make this move before the episode starts. Now, I confess that I really should have looked up what an episode actually is, and I have to admit, I'm not entirely certain. I think that. Okay, I'm going to see. Okay. The game is divided into episodes of play, each one representing a single live televised broadcast or pay-per-view event of your wrestling franchise. So we may actually have concluded an episode.
Yeah, by the way we have talked about it, we should have concluded one every session.
Yeah.
Because we have had a match which is pay-per-view, but normally a pay-per-view is like five matches or something.
Right. And not only that, but we would also, in this promotion, some of our matches were not pay-per-view. They were just clip show YouTube stuff.
I don't think they have taken, height for that in the rules because they probably assume it's sort of more common when it's televised.
Right.
So you have to sort of make it work, I think.
Still, though, it didn't make any sense to drop audience between the second and third sessions. It didn't make any sense.
It's pretty brutal if you...
So I suspect there's no way to boost up audience.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I suspect that we are going to be a little loose and think of an episode as scattered through a series of possible promotions or interviews or things like that, and maybe even matches, as long as they are not like a big pumped up climactic match. Especially if we think especially if we think of our characters having matches that are not the big ticket events, and so audience can build through some of those. I don't understand how you have audience 4 at the beginning of an episode.
No.
Yeah. How is that possible? Because your audience resets. See what I mean?
Probably because you make the move before the episode begins, then you reset.
In that case, legitimately,
I have to make that move, and then I have to reset.
Right.
Reasonably. Yeah.
And so that goes for everybody, I think. But don't reset it yet. So the top of the card move.
Momentum should not be reset at the start of this session, though.
I don't think so.
But I should gain 2 momentum. That's the top of the card. No, wait, no, never mind. If you have +4 audience at the top of the show, gain +2 momentum and roll look. So I do get some free momentum.
Yeah.
Just for being at the top. And then I have to roll.
But what is this about?
This is about basically I can push my agenda with the creative against the they can demand and be
so you already stipulated a match with Angus.
Yeah,
to have El Senor as the referee, which implies a clean match.
Yeah.
You already stipulated that.
That was
but you can mess with it some more right now.
That was cut a promo, which I succeeded at that point. Yeah. Therefore, I could do that. And this I can actually do. I can demand another match, basically, or do some other things. But we'll see if I succeed, because this is a look move.
Yeah, not yet. 4 + 4?
That's 8, but -2. 6. So then I have to blow, 1 momentum. To get it 7, and then I get to pick one. Either demand and be granted any match you want, call out anyone on the roster to explain themselves and gain +1 heat with them, gain 1 momentum, or gain 1 momentum. Well, I have to... I already got the first one, really. So therefore, let's see here, who can I feud with?
Well, you do have technically a feud with Swift. That's it's not very heated.
No.
And I believe that Swift has the heat and you don't.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you could, and because it's defined as taking who is getting respect for their commitment to this.
No, but
thing
probably
right
spin
now,
that. Yeah.
Which actually makes a lot of sense, considering that you kind of redeemed yourself a little bit. And you had been sort of building up your heat and things. Yeah. So if you want to respond to some of her bad mouthing, like the men of the
because you did do that.
Yeah.
And sort of that I'm gonna pick that one.
I said something like if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Something like that. Yeah. About general in the male cast, I believe. Something like that, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Well, anyway, that includes Fenrix. So of course he's pissed off about that, reasonably. Sort of. So it's sort of. Well, you ain't seen nothing but the best in this promotion. So if you have something to claim and something to
I'm sitting in the makeup room like
you can. You wouldn't wrestle women on his face, but anyway, sort of. Everyone here can clearly see who is the best and who is just coming over here and living on old accolades.
Oh.
So that's so you better show what you're worth. You put your money where your mouth is. Show us some wrestling.
Yeah.
So this actually ties into what you and Prussia had talked about. Remember that there was some talk about doing a tag team work or some kind of arrangement.
Angus talked to Crush about a tag team.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that if she met Swift in a ring, she would take care of Swift.
Right, and that has, yes. And also the point, though, is that this... Okay, I'm getting mixed up. Right now we are talking about you and Fenric, and that is an isolated thing. The issue with Crusha has to do with you. And so I have Swift versus Fenric and Swift versus Angus here in my feud list.
Oh, yeah.
And the proposed Swift and Crusha in tag team actually looks like it might start factoring into this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's making some sense. This is just kind of clarifying. But right now we are talking about this top of card move where you are adding a little content.
Yes.
Because you get to do that.
Yeah, right. I dig it. And then I get 1+1 heat with it, which means I have +1.
Right. It is now 2. Right. It is now 2 on 1.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's only the non-player wrestlers, NPW, that has +1 by default.
Correct.
Yeah, the other players don't.
Correct.
And that is finished.
Mm-hmm.
That means I drop down.
Now that goes for everybody.
Mm.
Reset your audience to baseline, which for you is 1 and for you is 2.
Yeah.
As we formally begin, after a certain amount of fumbling around, we formally begin an episode.
Mm.
Right.
Yes.
And heat remains as is.
Should. I mean,
okay,
I think so.
I think so. All right. So I don't see why not.
No.
Now, however, when you conclude a feud, then it will reset to 1 and 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you also gain an advancement for doing that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If
So
that's
you guys-
satisfactory.
Yes.
Satisfactory.
Right. Which is what we have not had
No.
with the two.
There's no blow off, as they say.
Now, here is a bit of moving into play then. Because now there is going to be a number of candid interviews that are a little more candid. They have less quotes around them because everybody in the social media scene with your channels and sub-channels and things wants to know what everyone thinks of these recent events. And the fact is that your promotion actually took a bad hit and might actually have gained another struggle. Because you have, as I mentioned last time, you did not clear the next tier in your audience. And when you don't clear the next tier, then and miss it just by 1. And just if we go with the fiction a little bit, if you had worked that match for a few rounds, you could have gained a little more audience, and you guys actually would have made it into the next level of reach and become more of a city phenomenon rather than a local phenomenon.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of clear to management that match screwed, that it did not work out. So you guys are not going to get to go back to that venue.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you guys back. And any of these sort of chants for a little more funding, and advertising, I would say perhaps there was an advertising niche in YouTube or some similar service where you have so many subscribers that you then get paid more for advertising, which they have. And unfortunately, you guys just dropped rather than rose over it. And that's what that 9 is all about for the tier.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means. You guys hit 8, and now the episode is over. Audience drops.
Oh, yeah.
So
total audience drops. Too.
Yeah.
So,
So therefore, yeah.
Again.
So you guys missed it. And bringing you in had been part of that, right? Of, okay, we're ready to shoot over into this next level. It hasn't worked. So every one of you is under kayfabe pressure, right? To, try to do damage control, basically. And so we are going to move into, some of these things, which is mostly cut a promo, unless you want to do, a few other things. Other moves, right? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to dictate what moves you make, but the default in this case is cut to promo because you are actually responding. Each of you is making, well, again, this is the default. The expectation is that you would make like an appeal or a friendly chat with your viewers, with perhaps your special fans, the ones, the iHeart fan or whatever, right? Those, whoever has pledged for those particular fandoms is going to get a statement. Now, if you want to do other moves, as I say, please feel free.
How much role playing or mostly strictly mechanics? Like, is there some sort of a narrative explanation for the audience drops? Like, people were horrified by the violence?
Right, well, I can tell you some of the responses.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Which was, what kind of a confrontation was that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't get to actually see the wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It was basically, just a joke, right? I mean, you pulled off the joke. It was funny. You successfully, branded, promoted your brand, but it only was funny for the people who want Angus to run around and do goofy things and violent things, and they want to see him bleed. They want to see him hit people. Those are the only people who liked it. And so basically you're getting people who say, I mean, Fenric's response is all over the place. You had that great audience pop, and now it's
flopped because it's no longer relevant.
It flopped because if he's not going to wrestle, if we don't actually get to see him wrestle, what was all that talk about?
What's the point?
Yeah. This promotion used to be about, combat sport. We actually got to see that these people cared about the actual wrestling, even though, and be entertaining too. They were the sweet spot, right? Everyone is always saying, why can't it be about real wrestling and great kayfabe too? And if you try to say those are contradictory, they're like, no, it can't be contradictory. It has to be, And so it looked like your promotion was actually doing a pretty nice job at that sweet spot. It's shattered. So the sort of, I'm not saying it's a complete fiasco. I mean, you have kept your base audience. But really, I mean, a lot of people are saying, look, why don't they we liked them when they were, our buddies at the, our local buddies, they weren't ready. So some influencer is saying, well, not every promotion is really ready to advance. Maybe these guys are better off just as amateurs. And so, which would mean, you will continue not to get paid. Right now, they're paid off of the proceeds, from this social media, and that's about it. So, none of you are making a living. So it's and the question is, I mean, can we afford Swift? Right? I mean, right now your rent's being paid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's